Hi, editing Barry. Barry, who's it?
How's your Monday going?
Future Perry.
Future Barry.
What's it like in the future? Are there flying cars yet?
Look out for that
still
falling
snow?
piano.
Oh no! Am I gonna die before I get this episode out?
Heed my warnings.
Future Perry. Past Perry has some information for you.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of This Is My Bourbon podcast. I'm Perry, and your host, and I am so happy that you are here with us for another week, and I'm also so happy to have It's Bourbon Night on the show, Chad and Sarah.
Hello.
What up?
I don't think you guys have been on since your most recent life development.
That's true.
So we have to say a big congratulations to you guys on your pending nuptials.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Which is.
I don't really like the word nuptials, but
Nuptials.
but you guys
Feels
are
appropriate.
It does.
We
I
are.
have
I
declared
guess
my
I'll-
intentions.
I guess I'll keep him.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah. No, it's been a while, actually, since we've been on.
Yeah, together at the very
Happy
least.
2019.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first 2019
Happy
podcast.
New Year.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we are going to kick off the show, of course, as we normally do with Flying Blind, where I blind our guests with something, and they don't know what this is. But,
It's
yeah.
a mystery.
I think you've had it before, though, so...
Well, that's highly likely.
Yeah, chances are.
As we're kind of getting nosing notes on this as well, have a couple things to talk about up top. First off is the biggest news of all. Well, I don't know about of all, but...
Ever.
Tickets are officially on sale for the very first live recording of This Is My Bourbon podcast. The link can be found in the description below for the show. It is going to be April 6th in Louisville at the Silver Dollar. Sarah is going to be on the panel for that.
Yeah,
And
so you need to get your tickets so you can come see me.
Yes.
But don't be a creeper.
No.
Like, please only come if you can guarantee that you will not.
If
be
you're
a
the
stalker.
guy who's hanging out in the corner.
I will
just
need a
staring,
background check
yeah.
done first, but that's all.
April 6th, Silver Dollar in Louisville. Sarah's going to be a part of the panel, and the reason that she is going to be a part of the panel is because this is going to be all about the women of bourbon. And I am incredibly excited to not just have Sarah, but Peggy No Stevens as well is going to be sitting
Who
on
is awesome.
She's fantastic. Andrea Wilson from Michter's is going to be there, and then I'm kind of working on maybe a fourth as well. But I don't want to jinx myself too soon.
It'll be me in a wig.
But yes. Unshaved.
Hello. I'll
Just go straight on Mrs. Doubtfire for this.
dears. Right away, dear. I'll just do that all. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's happening. Live streams are still continuing, of course. New night, though, so they're on Thursday nights now instead of Tuesday nights over on YouTube, youtube.com/This Is My Bourbon podcast. So come hang out with me. It's always a fun time. We're constantly trying to, get more people in there. I would like to just start doing super chats eventually, but, we're at like 130 subscribers right now.
Yeah,
so
you have to reach a certain level,
like
don't
1,000.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You'll get there.
Yeah, let's drink some bourbon, though.
All right, let's do that.
What do you guys think about the nose on this Flying Blind sample?
It reminds me of like when someone describes salty and sweet. Like, I know that's weird, but that's kind of what it reminds me
Yeah.
of, like the saltiness of a peanut, but also like sweet. So like a chocolate covered
I
peanut.
was
or something.
thinking kind of like a salted caramel.
Yeah, I get like the sweetness of the caramel, but that also, the saltiness of salt.
Yeah, it smells lower proof, maybe.
Yeah.
I am definitely the only one who laughed at my joke.
I didn't hear what your joke was.
I
Your
said
joke was sorry.
it's the sweetness of caramel, but the saltiness of salt. See, now he's just faking it, you guys.
Good one.
That was a courtesy laugh.
And that's what a courtesy laugh sounds like. No.
You can
Like
start
Seth
doing
Rogen.
Seth Rogen laugh.
Yeah.
I think it's a decently pleasant nose, but it does seem like there are other places for it to actually go.
True.
It's a little flat on the nose.
And the flavor is just kind of as much. Like, you can definitely tell. It kind of tastes like you added some water to your bourbon.
Yes. It
Or-
tastes like a stronger bourbon that has had ice added to it
Yeah.
and has been sitting there for a while.
Which is one of my least favorite flavors in bourbon.
It's decently passable.
I believe so, too.
Yeah, I think my
I'm not in love.
least favorite flavor is watered down chilled bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yes,
ice that
exactly.
is melted.
Exactly.
Like this being room temperature, I think it
Yes, Chad, exactly what I said.
Did you?
It's exactly what I said. But you're right. What a great
And the marriage
statement that
problems
you
start
just made.
early.
I've already started not listening.
Yes, it's true. He's been tuning me out for ages.
Say what?
Anyways, we agree.
Yeah. But you know, it's it had a nice little kick of something there in the middle. That
There is
kind
something
of a little,
to be said about it.
little saving grace of it.
I think that, like I said, it's a good, solid not middle, starter.
It seems like it would be
It's
a fairly
fine.
good utility bourbon.
Utility is a great word.
Yeah.
Maria, I think, wants some of it, too.
Cocktail sipping.
Yeah, cocktail maybe. I
She did-
prefer a little higher proof maybe for a cocktail to cut
Agreed.
through, but
But if you, okay, I'm sorry, not cocktails.
mixer?
Mixing.
mixer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is different than a cocktail. If you mix bourbon and Coke, then you did not make a cocktail. I am sorry to
Nope.
inform you.
You mixed one ingredient with your bourbon.
You made a
Cocktail
mixed
needs
drink,
to be at
not a
maybe some
cocktail.
ice.
3,
Yes.
I believe, is the.
Well, this is what a lot of us kind of used as utility bourbons in our early drinking days.
100%.
Yes, it's Evan Williams, Black Label.
Well, there you go.
Oh, I was saying
Straight-
like this is something I would have used. That is actually what I did use.
Yeah.
So it has been revealed.
Yes. It's Evan Williams Black Label, and it's aggressively fine, I would say.
It is.
It is so
completely
good at being
accurate.
mediocre.
Yes.
But so the topic for this show is going to be overlooked bourbons. So what are some things that that was quite the leap, Marie, that we may pass up at the store from time to time?
Yeah.
And I think that this is, for me, kind of up there with Jim Beam in that kind of
The white
echelon of, the white label.
Sure.
Of overlooked or passing over bourbons.
Yeah.
Because there's so many other things out there that I would rather.
I kind of feel like this category, the topic of your podcast here, has shrunk within the past year, if not a couple years, because I would have put, just looking here at your beautiful cabinet,
Oh, thank you.
looking at Heaven Hill 6-year Bald and Bond, that would have been on this table. I feel like 2 years ago,
Absolutely.
even a year ago.
Buffalo Trace probably as well.
Yeah, but
Definitely. McKenna 10.
McKenna 10. Yeah, a year ago there would have been a lot more on this table. So I feel like this category has shrunk. And is it going to go away completely one day? Probably not, unless
New things
keep
will fill its
winning
place.
awards or getting discontinued.
Well,
I feel like that's a catalyst of a lot of them.
I think we need to put the caveat on that as well, that they're overlooked because we are at a point in our drinking career, for lack of a better phrase. Have you checked my stats on my card yet?
You're drinking tenure.
Yes, there we go.
I'm going to get tenure next year.
And then you can abuse your power.
That means no one can fire me from drinking bourbon.
But we're at a point where we basically know what we like, and what we like tends to be higher proof or slightly more expensive than something like Jim Beam White Label or Evan Williams Black Label.
Yeah. Hello,
So
kitty cat.
Kitty Cat wants bourbon too.
You want yeah, okay.
Chad's like, are you going to claw my face off? Are you going to be sweet? And you'll never know
You
because
are
it's
extending
a cat.
your claws.
She's
What does that
sweet.
mean?
She's sweet. Well, anyway, before we really get into it, I have to ask you guys, what have you been drinking recently?
Oh man.
Ooh, Booker's 30th.
Yeah. I had some Booker's 30th and some Elijah Craig C918 last night.
Because you were mad at me.
As I was listening to Perry, Curtis, and Swan talk about best bourbons of 2018 and going, fools!
What fools they be.
It was a good good list. In fact, one year I think your number 7 was actually my number 7 too, which was the Bell Mead cask strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I said it on the show, but I just freaking love that.
Me
bottle.
too, and such a surprise. Did not expect that one to come around. You
Yeah.
know.
So that's what we've been drinking. We've been drinking a lot of our contenders. It took us several
yeah.
months, but
Oh, yeah.
21 bourbons to narrow down to a top 6, to a top 10, to a top 4, to a 1.
Yeah.
And then past that, we haven't been doing dry week because we can't really do that because, we do a show,
Right.
but we have slowed down.
Yes, definitely. Well, new year,
We
new
take
year, new us, right?
5-6 days.
Someone has to
between having a pour.
fit in a wedding dress. So one of us, and that's Chad.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to look
it's-
gorgeous.
You will
it's
be
me.
gorgeous.
It's
I'm
me.
so excited for that.
Yeah, but so we've definitely been trying to take it a little easier, although we've
Sure.
still been keeping our content rolling. So
Yeah, we did film an uncorking today, so we have had Cream of Kentucky, but we shan't say anything, Perry, because the episode's not out. Sorry, I know you've had it. You've had a pour of it,
I have had a pour of it.
but we shall say no more.
Well, I'll give my thoughts on it because I had it at Liquor Barn. I think probably the same day that it came out.
Yeah,
And they had it behind the tasting bar. And this is kind of a tangent, but this is where you see some of these waiting in line deals fall apart. Because I walked into Liquor Barn and there were still at least a dozen bottles sitting on the counter there.
yeah. I don't think it got a whole lot of hype.
Oh, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But I was really unimpressed by it, quite honestly.
There you go. Stay
not
tuned.
allowed to say anything. So
Stay tuned to our episode.
I remain neutral.
Switzerland.
You just
For
tell
now.
You just tell me later.
Yeah,
I
we'll
will.
just tell you. We'll just tell you off air.
Oh, let's see. Well, I'll tell you what I've been drinking, and it has a little bit of a story to it, but not too long. A few months ago, we reviewed the Bower Hill single barrel on the show, my dad and I, and unfortunately, we did not give it a very good review, to which Bower Hill reacted a little poorly, unfortunately, and we went back and forth a little bit, and they said, they basically said, we'll try to make this right. And so what they said was they were going to send me some of what they were producing in hopes that, I would have a better experience with it. And I thought that they were just going to send me samples. No, they sent me full 750s
Wow.
of their vertical.
That's a class act.
It's
Very
absolutely
class act.
fantastic, and I just want to say thank you to them so much for sending that. That's super, super cool of you guys. The barrel strength I thought was really good as well. That was definitely my favorite out of the 4.
Yeah, love to try some.
to me.
Yeah,
So-
maybe after the show.
Maybe on the
Nice.
show.
Maybe
Who
on the
Well,
show.
it's not
We'll
exactly
see.
the topic, but
It's not the topic,
No.
but maybe we can sneak something in there.
Sure,
We'll see.
why not?
See how far we get.
Yeah, that's been about it. Other than like standards of just Turkey 101 sitting around, there's not really been anything too phenomenal recently. I'm hoping to change that as 2019 rolls along.
Absolutely.
But
Definitely.
anyway, let's pour something else as we get into our topic, which, as we said before, is overlooked bourbons. I have a few offerings on the table. Eagle Rare, which I think has been kind of passed up, but also I am up to, that can be left up for debate. We don't have to put that one in
I
there.
think it would depend on the state you live in.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I still look at Eagle Rare as kind of one of those overlooked ones. Now, I don't know why. Maybe it's just because mentally I haven't overcome the fact that people do really go crazy over it. But I, at the very least, like if it's on the shelf, it's not one that I really kind of gravitate towards.
But a lot of stores, when they have it limit 1.
If they have it.
Yeah,
It's
true.
just been running out a lot lately.
Yeah,
There's a rumor that they're going to start doing barrel picks of it again.
that would be awesome.
That would
Yeah.
be very cool.
Yeah.
They should, because we've had
Agreed.
Yeah, a lot of Eagle Rare barrel picks, and they've all been better than the standard.
Yeah. We liked that. It was fun.
And then just standard Turkey 101, because people
Which-
still totally overlook that.
Oh, definitely. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
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 We had someone comment recently on, I think our cocktail episode where we used 101 in the cocktail.
Didn't
They're
they say like your mistake was using?
Yeah. Well, your mistake
Oh.
was you used Turkey 101 because it's trash.
And I was like, you, sir, do not have the privilege of commenting anymore.
I think a little part of me just died.
Privileges revoked.
I think that's all just perception.
Yeah,
If you blind to someone with
absolutely.
Turkey 101, I don't think anyone would say it's trash.
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of wonder if we'd never started the show almost 3 years ago, if I would still have it in my mind that I don't like Turkey 101 because
Right.
I'd had it years before that and didn't like it. Which would be sad because I love it now.
Also, Old Granddad Bottle and Bond, which I always remembered loving and think is fantastic. But I bought a bottle just because this was one that I typically overlook, for the show. And then Fighting Cock
Fighting Cock,
from
yeah.
Heaven Hill, which is, this one in particular is really funny to me, and we'll talk about it more as we get into it. But it has all of those things that we kind of look for in some of our daily drinkers. Higher proof, pretty cheap. Why doesn't it make the cut for us? Why do we kind of overlook it? But where do you
Sure.
guys want to start?
Oh, let's do the proof step up. So I guess that would be
Eagle Rare.
Are you doing Eagle Rare?
We don't have to. We'll do Old Granddad.
Let's do OGD.
Okay. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
and then if we could always slide back down to Eagle Rare if need be.
If we need
I
to.
only say slide down because
back
of
down as in
proof. I don't mean like slumming or anything. It's an excellent whiskey.
How do you open? This is how inexperienced I am with. I'm
We'll
just gonna
pause
do
for
the
station
old-fashioned.
identification while Perry. Oh, there you go.
That's how my dad takes the wine paper off. So anyway, fresh pop of. Dang it!
Take two. Take three.
Chad, do you want to give it a shot? I can't get the cork out of the Old Granddad, so. Ooh, that was high quality audio right there as well. So Old Granddad, Jim Beam product, named after old
Is
Basil.
it named after Old Granddad?
Old Granddad himself, Basil Hayden.
Named after. Oh, you're
Here, I'll
pouring-
just pour it and
okay.
pass it around because that's probably easier than.
Want a Perry pour?
That wasn't really much of a Perry pour.
A little bit of a Perry pour.
All right, edging towards Perry pour.
All right. Here, Sarah has solved it by taking a Perry pour and splitting it amongst two Glencairns.
To be a normal pour. Look at that normal pour.
Whatever.
We just
do
like to
it.
give you hell, Perry.
Oh, I know. Well, we're trying to get hashtag Perry pour trending on
heard
Instagram
that.
as well, which is
Might I remind you that it was I who coined the term Perry pour?
twas.
Oh, it was you?
Yes, 'twas.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we might have to go back and check the records.
I think let's go back to the footage.
We got
All right.
hours of tapes to go through.
it might
so-
have been Sarah.
It might have been me, but I'll let you. What's yours is mine.
Aw.
So it's ours then, I guess.
Ooh,
We coined the Perry pour.
Yeah.
That solves it.
Ooh, now talk about a difference in nose.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Of course, we just jumped up 20 points. Improve.
I get
Is Evan Williams 80 proof? I thought it was 86.
Black label, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's 80.
Huh.
blackberries and brown sugar. Is that weird?
Sorry,
No.
you're right.
Not a
Is it
lot,
86? Okay.
just a little. And just like a sprinkle of cinnamon, a dusting, if
14
you will.
points.
I do notice that that fruitiness a little bit more than I have in the past.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's a little blackberry-esque.
Yeah.
I get the oddest nose on this. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Say
tell.
it, Chad.
It's like smelling a brown paper bag that held fast food.
I get the brown paper bag aspect of it.
I
don't
can
know
maybe
if I
see the brown
necessarily
paper
get-
bag, but I don't see the fast food. Like, I don't
No,
get
it,
those
it,
savory,
it held
salty.
a burger. It held a burger.
Don't say burger.
Now, if you just smell the brown paper bag, you're not going to get it. It held a burger.
Well, I will say that it could totally eliminate that part of the nose. By the way, I am holding up a brown paper bag.
He
that
literally just huffed a brown paper bag.
He is hyperventilating into a brown paper bag.
I don't take
I think
pressure
he might
well.
be huffing.
Yeah, there's a can of paint. in
I'm
here,
worried
too.
about him. Where did we go wrong?
I don't know. These millennials.
I'm sorry.
your
I'm
son.
I'm sorry. I'm such a
I don't
disappointment.
know. I get some condiments on the nose along with that.
mustard.
No.
Ketchup?
I get ketchup and mayo.
and
A
mayo.
little bit of ketchup.
That's why I'm saying burger in a brown paper bag. Get on
Like
board,
when you
people.
mix ketchup and mayo together, which is delicious, by the way. You should
It
try
is.
it.
That's the only way I eat burgers anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe even some American cheese that has been melted. Like I'm distinctively getting.
Are you hungry?
You know what else is on there? Pickles.
Yeah. No, I agree.
He agrees he hates pickles.
I do. I am getting.
Okay, now that you've driven me in this direction, I see it.
Barry got tired. Now he's tasting it.
Well, I just wanted to kind of.
See if
But
he gets a
I
burger.
honestly get everything but the meat.
Yeah, everything but the meat and the bun.
I get the meat on the palate. I'm not kidding.
Oh, well, the char.
Yes.
The char of a grill.
Uh-huh.
So now what I'm curious about is this
Will
the,
this pair well
is
with
this the bourbon that
perfect-
goes with the burger? The perfect Bergen.
Bergen?
Bergen.
Bergen.
Bergen de Berg. You sound like the Swedish
The
chef.
perfect bourbon to pair
and
with your
she's
burger.
wearing a burgundy jacket.
Bergen.
She's run burgundy. Burgundy.
Who put a question mark on the teleprompter? Milk was a bad choice. I just love how when you laugh at all my jokes. You're the best audience.
I have to say, I kind of feel like I got a bad bottle. Because this does not taste anything like what I remember old Granddad Bottle and Bond tasting or smelling like.
It's interesting. Now, we've got a bottle still from our 50 under 25, so it's going on 3 years old.
Wolf.
Well, it hasn't. There's not
don't know
much.
that this is that far off.
There's not much out of it, so it's
Okay.
still fine. If you want to compare sometime.
Sarah, you said it's not that far off.
I don't think so. From the last time I had it, from what I remember.
Yeah. I guess it's been a while
I
for
do
me.
want a burger though.
Chad's
Yeah,
just hungry because I made him eat a salad for lunch.
I had a salad for lunch, too. It's okay.
So we're all hungry.
I had 2 salads yesterday, and then
Now it's just for lunch.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, I had a couple drinks, and then I realized that I was still really hungry. And so I ruined everything by ordering White Castle on DoorDash.
So this is like the part of the podcast that happens before we start hitting record when we're testing sound levels. Like, tell me what you had for lunch.
Yeah.
That's how you get someone's sound levels.
Exactly.
Talk to me about what you had for breakfast.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know.
as
I can't.
interesting as that is.
I haven't had OGD BIB in a minute to kind of know, but I think it, from what I can remember, is in the ballpark. You know, I don't know.
I almost brought out, for some reason, as I was looking through the cabinet, you know, what should I take out as well? And I almost got Knob Creek Small Batch out because I don't know the last time that I intentionally bought a bottle of Knob Creek Small Batch.
Right. It's probably
And-
before the age statement went away.
Actually, I have an age-dated one
Yeah, right there. Yep.
unopened. So
Now I just keep smelling a McDonald's burger with
Yeah,
like the
no.
chopped up onions and the pickle.
I'm
and
telling you.
Yeah. Wow.
Sometimes
Weird.
I get on.
Or
you're
is it
on.
the power of suggestion? But it's actually pretty accurate now that I go back to it. I'm like, you know, I do get that. But I also still get a little bit of blackberry. But more so the burger now, which is weird.
Yeah, I think we were just in different mindsets when we started smelling this.
Yeah.
Based on this experience, I don't know if I would necessarily go back to this one anytime soon.
I mean, yeah,
Or
there's
buy
just
another bottle.
too many other things.
Mm-hmm.
But I would agree that it is overlooked. I think the OGD 114 gets all the praise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And this one is, I don't know. I think there are some devout people to it.
Yeah.
When you're talking about bottled and bonds, they bring up Old Granddad a lot. But it's not a replacement for Heaven Hill BIB.
Nope.
Not for me.
Pour one out.
Pour one out for one's homies.
I'm sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. So I think we kind of need to talk about, too, why we overlook some things.
Well, I think
because
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, because there are so many options out there that fall under our categories of what's a really good everyday drinker, what's something that I can bring to somebody and go, hey, this is you may not have had this before, or have and didn't realize that it's that good, like Turkey 101.
Totally, yeah. I think it all depends on your. You want some ice in that? He's cleaning out his glass from his water bottle, and some ice came into his Glencairn, so now he has an icy Glencairn.
Nice chilled Glencairn.
Ooh,
could you chill my Glencairn before you pour my bourbon?
Oh, nice. I think it all has to do with your frequency as a bourbon drinker, your level. Like your casual bourbon drinker will pick a few things. They'll find something that they like, and then be like, all right, cool. So this is what I like. I like Woodford Reserve. I mean, I think that's more classically what people kind of
just stick with it for like 10 years.
Yeah, that's what they branch out to, loosening the purse strings. Like, all right, I'm going to spend $30 on a bourbon. Hey, Woodford Reserve, it's good. You know what? You get what you pay for. It's worth it. I'm going to stick with this. But I think your more than casual bourbon drinker isn't going to just stick with that. They're going to try your Knob Creek single barrel. They're going to try your Bakers.
Right.
They're going to try your, something more obscure like Johnny Drum or Russell's Reserve single barrel or, whatever it is. So what I completely haven't answered your question, though. What makes us overlook things?
Yeah.
Well,
Sarah?
I think there's
the
a
baton?
thing, and I can't remember the word for it, but it's like the psychology of having too many options makes it.
Option paralysis.
Yeah, so like it becomes very
Is that
hard
really a thing?
to choose.
Yeah.
When you have too many things to choose from, it becomes very difficult to choose because you're overwhelmed by the choices. And I think that we're at a point in bourbon where there are so many choices, and when you're coming into something, especially even if you were familiar with it, you can only know so much at one time, and there's so many new things, and things are changing. Age statements are going away, labels are changing, whatever.
Yeah.
That it's hard for you to keep everything in mind all at once and feel like you're making an educated decision when you have so much to choose from.
Absolutely.
So I definitely think that's something. I think that what makes things get overlooked is perception, specifically marketing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Label design is a huge thing, I think. Like just what grabs people's eyes, what makes them think this will be good, this is worth the money, or it's not.
Yeah.
And then, like, also marketing as far as what you're familiar with, what's been in your peripheral almost. Like, you see a Maker's Mark billboard in pretty much every town ever. There's Maker's Mark everywhere.
Yeah.
So everyone's familiar with that. No one's familiar with, like you said, Johnny Drum.
Right.
Unless you know much about it, it's not on every shelf. It's not something that you see every day. So it's more of a question mark as far as, is this worth it? I haven't heard any good word of mouth about it. I haven't seen any advertisement for it. Where did it come from, and why should I trust it?
Yeah, like we see people walking into the aisle of, Liquor Barn here in town or Total Wine or whatever, where you have 2 full aisles of bourbon, and we see that glazed over look on people's eyes. And instead of taking a risk and blowing $25 to $50, why not just go to that old standby, whatever it may be?
Agreed, because it is a risk. I mean, that's your money, and you're giving it away for something and you don't know.
And that's why there's podcasts and YouTube channels.
Yes.
So we can tell you.
Let us guide you.
I think we bring up an interesting point, too, about something as specific as, say, Johnny Drum. Because Johnny Drum used to be age-stated.
15 years.
Used to be 15, yeah. And I don't know the necessarily, like, the analytics behind it or anything, but I have a feeling that if you were to look at, their sales numbers post the age statement being taken away, it would probably have gone down. And I have this feeling too that like it was not being talked about as much, or, the people who really did like it, didn't like it as much. I mean, there were so many people who cried over Elijah Craig losing its age statement.
Yes.
And they moved on to other things. But arguably, the current Elijah Craig small batch is just as good
It's
as
excellent.
the age stated
Yep.
used to be.
Well, yeah, that's a really good point. I'd love to see if those analytics did exist because I've never had an age stated Johnny Drum. You know,
I haven't either,
when
yeah.
I came into to drinking, it had already gone away. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, they may have lost that age stated Johnny Drum drinker, but they gained a new one when I started getting more into bourbon, and I picked up Johnny Drum, and I haven't owned a new bottle in maybe close to 2 years because I kind of stocked up at the time. It was one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've kind of, Sarah and I anyway, have noticed is a potential, and this is just hearsay because we haven't tested this, but a potential slide in that's made by Willet, potential slide in quality of Willet products because we had an amazing Noah's Mill.
Change in quality.
Okay.
Some people
Thank
really
you.
love that flavor profile.
Yeah, a change in quality because we had that amazing Noah's Mill, and we kind of made that bottle last, and then we got another bottle, and we're like, it's not quite as good, and then we got another one, and we're like, this bottle we just don't enjoy.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of, we bought a bottle of it today
Just to see.
just to see.
Interesting.
For investigating. But
Yeah.
I don't
For
think that
science.
you can
Yeah, for science.
attribute the Johnny Drum price. Like, if so, say their total sales dropped because they dropped the age statement. I don't think you can attribute it to that, though,
Mm-hmm.
because when that age statement dropped, it was because they were having to keep up with the demand. And as the
Exactly.
demand grew, the more options grew. So they were taking
Right.
a smaller piece of the
Right.
Oh, the pie got bigger,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're taking a smaller piece of that pie because there's so many
Yeah.
other options. So
Yeah, I mean that's why
just-
Knob Creek dropped
right?
their
They
age
dropped
statement.
theirs to keep up. Now, did people stop drinking Knob Creek?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but it's also more well known. So
Right.
I don't know. It would be tough to say like what happened and what that led to, but I'm sure there's some sort of person studying
Yeah.
I hope so.
that like trend.
And to that point too, I don't feel like after Knob Creek got rid of their age statement, after Jim Beam rather, excuse me, after that age statement was taken off, I don't feel like the quality of the product dipped.
No.
I mean, I thought it stayed pretty consistent.
Well, they said they had two options: stick with the age statement and raise the price,
Right.
or start mixing in some stuff younger than 9 years into the mix because it is, a blend of different years, and
It is a small batch.
it is a small batch, and then keep up with demand. And I think they made the right decision.
And I mean, if you really do want an age stated Knob Creek,
Get a single barrel.
get a single barrel for a little bit more money, but
Yeah.
not by much.
Yeah.
But
get a pick.
yeah, exactly. And the picks that have been coming out of Knob Creek recently too have been amazing.
Yeah.
Have been so good.
Yeah.
But every time we start getting on the age topic, especially with the Big Red 12 on the Elijah Craig going away, always thinking about what Denny Potter said when he was still master distiller, like when they were still doing Elijah Craig barrel picks, barrel picks. He said, I forget what did he say, Sarah? Like 8 out of 10 times when people would pick
they
a barrel,
wouldn't pick.
and they did it blind without knowing the age, they would pick something younger than 12 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you really upset about that, or is it more a perception thing?
I think it's perception.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I mean, that kind of leads into you turning your gaze towards other things.
Right.
And not wanting to, I mean, it goes back to what I was saying, Elijah Craig drinkers moved on to other things. Johnny Drum drinkers moved on to other things as well. So anyway,
Yeah.
but
What's
this
in this glass?
This actually used to have an age statement as well
It's crazy.
a long time
It
ago.
is.
But Turkey 101,
Yeah.
tried and true.
Our beloved. Like when you're talking about something that's readily available, that's a great quality, decent proof, and a great price, like
Yeah.
this is going to be my pick.
I mean, you can go to Total Wine and get it for $17.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I also do love Evan Williams 1783, but this has got to beat on proof.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
86
So-
versus 101.
It's it's just tough.
Yeah, and I actually kind of like, and it's maybe a little hipstery to say so, but I kind of like how some people hate on it because it is Wild Turkey 101.
I feel the same way.
How it used to be a Roughnecks, bourbon. Like you're gonna be in
A roughneck.
You roughneck.
You're gonna be
I'm
in
gonna
a,
start calling you that. Chad, quit being a roughneck.
you're just being a roughneck. how, you would only order it at a biker bar or something. Or if you ordered it, don't mess with that guy. He's drinking 101 neat.
I hope I order it one day and someone looks at the person next to them and says, don't mess with that guy.
Yes.
I have had some.
Especially if the person's like, excuse me, I'll have a Wild Turkey 101 neat, please. I'm like, oh, don't mess
That's
with
me ordering at a bar.
Don't mess with that guy.
Hi, wow, thanks so much for having me. Can I have a Wild Turkey 101 neat? And the old man next to me is like, darling, do you know what that is? And I'm like, yes, sir, thank you.
Sure you don't want to put a big cube of ice in that?
You don't want to mix that in a cocktail? You don't want a
some Coke?
chaser?
You know what? Make it a double.
Make it a double.
Screw this guy.
And one for my new friend.
That's what I should do next time. You know what? I'll take that and one for him. Just pick the highest proof thing there.
Be like,
Get it
what, old
neat.
man? You don't have any hair on your balls? Come on. Just, just start talking like that.
Can you say that on Perry's podcast?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
We're all 21 here. I hope so. If you're not 21, kids,
I'm
stop
forever
listening.
21 because that's only where I shop. That's not true.
That's not true at all.
But no, this is just a
I love
classic,
Turkey 101.
classic nose.
I think so too. And, we always talk about how it seems like the older stock was deeper in profile or had more of it going on. But I would say that this has stayed really pretty consistent in terms
Yeah.
of quality.
Yeah. No, the quality's there. I think, despite what anyone says, the older stuff has a different profile, but they're both excellent. I don't consider it a slide in quality at all.
Yeah, I don't
Just
think so either.
a little different here and there.
Yeah, I get like cocoa, caramel, and like a light cherry on the nose of this.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
I love the higher rye of it. It's just like the quintessential perfect burn or heat, on your tongue.
Oh, it's very well balanced.
It's just right. 101. And
It's
they picked
so
101 because
enjoyable for that.
it's different, because they just
Yeah.
wanted to be different and stand out. And I think that's
That availability and that price, I challenge you. You show me something better.
awesome. You show me.
The gauntlet has been thrown
I
down.
will believe you when you put it in front of me.
That's right.
$17 to $20. Show me.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
I mean, it's not going to be something new because something new is going to be craft, and that's going to be
Yum.
4 to 5 times more expensive.
All right, now hold on a second, though. A craft bourbon made it onto my top 10 list.
Okay, but was it $17 to $20 and did it taste like this?
No
And
no.
I'm not hating on craft bourbon. I'm just saying, we're talking about something.
The defense
We're talking
rests.
about something mass produced that's widely available, and
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
mass
yeah.
produced and widely available, and they can afford to make it be less. So
Right.
Yeah.
the craft
Right.
distilleries just can't compete on that level, and that's not their fault. And that's why I don't think people should be like, "Wow, did I pay for that craft thing when I can have this thing?" Well, it's two different ways of looking at the bourbon industry. Like, you're supporting a small business
Sure.
when you give them your money. You're voting with your dollars to say, "I support the craft bourbon industry."
So would you say then that craft bourbons get severely overlooked?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because there's not the familiarity.
Right.
There's the price issue to get over.
And I think, unfortunately, some of the craft places don't, I wouldn't say they do it wrong, but they do it in a way that their first release isn't quite ready. And so when you
Right.
introduce a person to that, they're like, ugh, not all of them, but they
Yep.
have this experience where they're like, that just wasn't ready. And so is it in their minds always now that all craft bourbon is bad?
Yeah, it's exactly where I was going to go. Track record.
Track record.
Yeah.
So then they overlook all craft bourbon always because they had that one craft bourbon that they didn't enjoy. But you've got other places out there like New Riff, for example, that are doing it right. And you're like, don't let your first experience, just always go back and revisit things. It's like our
Always.
biggest.
Well, it
Yeah.
just goes back again to my Wild Turkey story. If I hadn't gone back to Wild Turkey, to this day, I would still think I don't like it. So it's the same thing with craft distilleries. Revisit them. Give them some time.
or try different ones,
Give them some space. Let them grow. Let
was it?
yourself
There-
grow.
It's funny that you say that, it was good
Funny
that you
how?
went
Like
back
funny
to-
haha? What am I, a clown? Here to amuse you? Funny how? How am I funny?
Your face is painted and you do have giant shoes on, but that's beside the
Well-
point. That's your everyday
Yeah, that's my weekend wear.
get up.
That's his Saturday outfit.
Yeah.
I was going back and going back through the old the old back catalog of It's Bourbon Night and watched your Bourbon and Coke flight fight.
That was early.
Good Lord.
And there was something on there that you said you really, really liked. I can't remember what it was, but like now I don't think that you consider it one of your favorites.
Was it Old Crow?
No. It was the Bourbon and Coke episode?
That's what I picked for my Bourbon and Coke, was because it tasted familiar like it did in college, because that's the type of bourbon I was ordering when mixed with Coke, was like Old Crow.
What were the four? It was Blanton's, Maker's, Old Crow,
yeah.
and...
That's a great question. It's been
2.5 years?
I was going to say
almost 3.
yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that fourth one was. I want to say it would probably be something, probably like a Knob Creek. We'd probably try to pick something like middle of the
Ooh,
road.
I bet it was Knob Creek.
Might have been. I don't know. But I know
Let's just
Blanton's
look
was
real
like the top shelf.
Yeah, Bland's was top shelf. Maker's was like that quintessential everyone gets a Maker's and Coke. Like,
Yeah.
they don't say, give me a Bourbon and Coke with Makers. They say, give me a Maker's,
Maker's
and
Oh,
Coke.
Bullet.
Bullet.
That was the one.
Bullet.
That was the one that you spoke the most highly of. Is
And-
you were like, I just love Bullet. You know, it's really, really good. And now I mean, that's not really one that you.
That's
Correct.
not something that we would
Correct.
say today.
Go
So our
for.
palates
Yeah.
have definitely changed and grown over time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, it just made me think of that, and I wanted to.
No, that is completely a great point. Yeah, and that was probably, I may have even have been speaking out of, I perceive that I really like Bullet,
Sure,
but I haven't put it to the test yet.
yeah, I find it kind of hard to overcome some of that. Like, oh, I don't really want to buy a bottle of that.
I also think bottom shelf shaming comes in
Oh, totally,
a lot.
totally.
You know, like,
I mean,
I would never spend less than $20 on a bourbon because I actually like good bourbon. It's something I could hear someone saying.
It's definitely.
You know, like
Yeah.
especially the $10 mark, because some of these are like around the $10.
JTS Brown.
yeah,
You know, 10, 12.
JTS Brown, JW
you can-
Dant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they are in that sweet spot of bottom shelf gems.
I picked up a handle of the T.W. Samuels when I was up at Party Source a couple weeks ago, because I saw it there. It's
You
like,
can get it more around here now too.
I know, but I was already up there, and they had a really good price on it.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's a fantastic price for a handle. I mean,
the
20
handle was like $20.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like
awesome.
what? Scale that down to a fifth. That's probably like what, a $11,
12, yeah. I was
12,
gonna say
$11, $12
$12.
bottle.
So I mean, it's in the
Crazy.
same echelon as Sarah's doing the empty glass motion. Well, let's do Old Fighting Cock from.
Old Fighting Cock. Let's do that.
So
The farther we get into these, the
Nope.
more unruly he gets.
the more
Don't mess with him. He drinks that Old Fighting Cock.
Just the impressions start spilling out.
That's not even an impression. That's just some old crotchety man.
Well, it's
That's
an
the old
impression
crotchety
that
man
you
inside
made
me.
up. Yeah.
Well, that's me. That's what you have to look forward to.
Oh, great.
In about, I'm going to say, 5 years.
Oh wow!
I'm just gonna
So
pretend
not
like
even that long from now, you're gonna turn into.
I'll just pretend like I've gone
Grandpa
deaf,
Simpson.
and then just wear some hearing aids.
You know
but really
you're
they'll
gonna-
be earplugs.
You know you're going to turn into an old Jewish woman when you get old.
No, I'm not.
me out dancing anymore.
You never take me out dancing. Well, I'm too busy drinking the Old Fighting Cock.
What an odd couple you two will be when you get older.
Yes. Someone should make a show of
That's
it.
what they'll say. They'll call us the odd.
No.
Coupling.
Literally, I'll just keep hosting parties, and Chad will be like, "Why do we have to do this?" And I'll
I
make
don't
all the
like any of
food, and
these
then he'll be
people.
happy about it eventually because he'll get to show off his bourbon collection. Then he'll do the old man voice, and everyone will go home happy.
It's true.
Yeah, that's what's really gonna happen.
Here, have some of this Old Fighting Cock.
So
He
it's
just wants to keep saying it.
so this used to be age stated. It used to be age stated at 6 years.
Yeah.
It is a Heaven Hill product, and
And 103 proof.
yes, and so it. I have a question before we actually get into it.
Question.
Somebody, now I'm going to name him, the Grease,
Okay.
recently said that he thought that Fighting Cock was a weeded whiskey.
I've never heard that before.
I don't think it is, but
Do you
I-
really want to throw down with the grease?
I bet
you've
there's
seen him.
Yes, I've seen him.
if he's
I
like
do not want to throw.
if he's
down
all
with that guy.
What
hopped
I
up on
thought.
What is it? Crystal
Crystal
Burgers?
Burgers?
I would not want to tango with him.
Do not mess with.
the Grease.
I bet there's some type of website that we could go to.
Don't mess with the grease.
And don'tmesswiththegrease.com, and then type in mash bill of fighting cock, and we could probably solve this.
Probably.
Yeah.
If only there were a way.
If only there were a device that could fit
In your
the palm
pocket.
of your hand, of your pocket.
All right, I'll edit it in post then. Hi, Future Perry here, editing in post to let you know that Fighting Cock is in fact not a wheated bourbon. It has a mash bill of 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley.
No, you won't. You'll be listening to this back.
Challenge accepted.
You'll be listening to this back on iTunes and go, damn it. I said I was going to do something.
But you don't think that I listen through to
totally
every single
didn't.
episode to when I review?
Yeah, Chad,
or when
them's
I
fighting
edit
words.
it?
Them fighting cock words.
Also, suck it, Chad.
Wow.
103
All
proof?
Anyways,
Okay, so Fighting Cock. Anyway, what I was saying too is that earlier is that it falls under all of those categories of, what should be something that we don't overlook. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
High proof,
Yep.
cheap drinker,
Yep.
pretty readily available. So why does this fall under the, I'd rather buy something else?
For me, it would be their label.
I agree.
It's not a pretty label. It's see-through, I don't like the clear labels.
I don't want to walk into a store and say, "Can you point me towards the fighting cock?"
Yeah, it could be the name. It could be the bottle shape. It could be probably not the bottle shape because that's basically like
It's pretty standard.
what Wild Turkey looks like almost, or the Old Granddad. Any ones we've had tonight.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like your bottom shelf bottle shape. But I don't like the label. I think the proof is interesting. Probably scares some people away because they're like, I could deal with
103.
100, but 103,
Maybe even 101.
but not 103.
That, sir, is where I draw the line.
Them are fighting proofs.
Cock words.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to draw the line somewhere.
And 103 is where some people do. It's
a-
arbitrary, but it works
land,
for them.
a line in the sand, or a land.
Whatever works for them.
That's what I would say. I don't know what do y'all think?
I mean, I also don't like the label, and I already expressed how I feel about walking into a store and saying that. So
Well, it is a bottom shelfer. You see this on the bottom shelf.
It is. Yeah.
What is this around?
What do you think, Perry?
$15?
I think it's actually closer to 20.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
right. $16.99, $17. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I think that the reason that I passed this up it is just kind of okay. Like, it's not anything that I really...
So you pass that because of previous experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that weighs into mine too.
Yeah. I mean, it's... I guess we probably should have established this earlier, but it's not just, I'm overlooking it because it's ugly on the shelf. I'm overlooking it because I've had it before, and I just don't think that it's that good.
I mean, we bought it probably the first time for our big fight, you know. Otherwise, would have been like, eventually, because I want to eventually try everything, but it's like...
It smells like nutty corn syrup.
It tastes like nutty corn syrup. It tastes...
does smell candy-ish. It's
Yeah.
Swedish, yeah.
Like
Not
also,
Swedish,
but like
sweet.
cornflakes. But like really sugary
Yeah.
cornflakes.
Frosted
also
Flakes, yeah.
Nutty.
Frosted Flakes is excellent. Yes,
it
that is an
tastes-
excellent descriptor.
It just tastes kind of young. And having had it when it was age stated, I at least know the difference between
It's
the
not as
two.
bad as I remember, though.
I feel like the ratios are out of whack. Like,
I
this
think so,
isn't
too.
the taste profile for a 103. Like, maybe
Does not feel like
if
103.
it's this age or this mash bill or what from this part of the warehouse or whatever those variables are, maybe it's like 86 proof or 90 proof or something. But I don't know if 103 is exactly where it should be.
Right. I mean, I agree. I don't think it reads like a 103 when you're drinking it either.
It just seems the what you get from the proof and what you're getting from the just like the palate, it just seem disconnected. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem cohesive.
I agree with that, but I don't think it's all that bad. Like, it's not terrible, and for $15, I actually think it's not a bad purchase.
I don't think it is either.
No,
I would rather have Wild Turkey 101 for a couple dollars more.
I would
but
too.
That's just me.
I would too.
yes,
It, again, is just very okay to me.
It is adequate.
I'm
It
going to
is.
say, I think it's more okay than the Evan Williams was.
You like the Evan Williams better?
No, I like this a little bit better. I think.
Okay.
I feel like that's the proof speaking to you.
Okay, you're probably right. I probably do like that there is some proof to it.
Yeah. No, it's good. I get a little bit of brittle out of it.
I do too, actually.
Yeah.
That was what I was just picking up as you were putting it down.
You picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah, I think you got to get 2 or 3, drinks of this, and that starts to kind of come out.
Yeah, but the sugary cornflakes, I think, are what are kind of the
That was
predominant.
predominant on the beginning.
Yeah.
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 Sure.
You're
I mean,
welcome.
even a couple sips in, I'm still kind of finding that to be
So
what
Frosted
I notice
Flakes.
more.
Sugary cornflakes
Yeah,
are
Frosted
Frosted
I mean,
Flakes.
Frosted
yeah,
Flakes.
Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
I said sugary cornflakes, but I meant like cornflakes when you put sugar over them so that the sugar all floats to the bottom of your bowl and you can scrape it out at the end. No one else ever did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okey dokey.
no one did that trick.
More work than I'm willing to do with my cereal.
Delicious.
Too much
I mean, now I can't believe anyone ever let me do that, but it was delicious. No wonder I was a fat kid.
Now I have diabetes.
Diabetes. I'm Milford Brimley. Diabetes.
That's gonna have to get cut too.
No, or not. We'll see.
We'll see.
Um,
Did this make it in? Are you hearing this on the radio, on the
Well, the
podcast
longer
app?
you talk, the more likely it is to get cut, Chad. So
But that noise is the one part that's getting left in.
It's just normal thoughts and then
So I think what, to kind of wrap this up before we get into the review, there are good things out there that you probably are overlooking. And I think that I don't know who it is that coined the phrase, but drink curious. Try stuff that you might not think you like or have tried in the past, and you're like, about. Take a risk, I mean, I felt like I was taking a risk with New Riff when and Wilderness Trail as well.
oh yeah, especially Wilderness Trail because they're a little more expensive than
Yeah.
New
yeah,
Riff.
definitely.
Exactly.
But it was a risk that paid off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
because we've all been burned on that $50 bottle of something, and it's just like
Yeah.
It makes you question the reason why you're doing this. You know?
yeah, makes you question why other people are doing it.
Right.
So, what are some of your overlooked bourbons? Let me know on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Hit me up at my bourbon pod. I'd love to know what some of those are that you've overlooked before, and maybe have gone back to and found that you actually really do enjoy it, or are willing to give it a second chance to. So, go do that. And I think
Do
that brings us to our review for the episode, and we're bumping down improve a little bit. But that's okay. This is
But that's okay.
that's
Because I'm
fine.
good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
You is kind.
You is kind. You is smart. You is important.
No, that's not what I was doing.
So this is something that I have never ever had or bought before.
Yeah, a little Corner Creek action,
It's Corner Creek Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
which they make in a 175.
They do.
Who knew?
Yeah. I have actively looked over this multiple times.
You passed it over.
I have.
Why?
Because I didn't know anything about it.
Is it the label? Is it the?
No, I kind of like the label. I think it has a nice
It looks like
classy
it
look
looks
to
like
it.
there needs to be a wine in there. It needs to
It
either be
does.
white or red.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think it's a red wine
Yeah,
Yeah.
ish label.
that should be red in there.
88 proof. It's distilled, aged, and bottled in Kentucky. Bottled by Corner Creek Distillery Company in Crestwood, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where is Crestwood, Kentucky?
Oldham County.
Where is Oldham County?
It's towards Louisville.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's where
Good deal.
the Kentucky Artisan Distillery
Gotcha.
is, who makes High Spire and some Jefferson stuff and so on and so forth.
Okay. Well, first part of the review, the paper around the label sucks.
So
Or around
don't
the neck.
buy it.
Yeah.
Avoid it at all costs.
How did... Like, some of it came off, but not all of it that needed to for me to actually
So it
get
is
into.
like a wine bottle. 'Cause that happens all the time with wine bottles with me.
Is it a cork or is it a...
I think it's a cork.
It's a cork,
It's a cork.
but it's... Yeah, okay.
Hey,
Oh, it's a real cork,
It's
too.
a real cork.
Good for them.
Now this is, I want to say, around $30.
is exactly $30.
$29.99.95.
I think that was another reason why
You overlooked it,
I
'cause it's
typically
like-
would overlook it is because
It is a leap.
It's a lower proof. It's non-age stated.
You don't know jack about it.
I didn't know a thing about it. At $30, I was like, well, I could buy, a bottle of Turkey 101 and then, JW Dant for that kind of money.
Preach. See, I think a lot of people when they go in the bourbon aisle is they're kind of like, I want to spend $30.
Do we want to do the Glencairns or do we want to do Norland?
Oh,
Ooh.
doesn't matter to me.
Do you want to go Norland?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do
We've not
Norland.
actually reviewed anything on the show in the Norland
Let's
glass
do
yet.
it.
So
I think they're like, I have $30 to spend. I think that's a safe range. Some people feel like if they spend enough money, they're not going to get something that tastes bad, So they're like, I'm going to spend $30. I already know what Woodford tastes like. So here's something I haven't tried yet.
I hope this tastes good for $30.
Give it a shot. Actually, that I probably tried this about 2 or 3. I tried this pre It's Bourbon Night. So that means I was still kind of cutting my teeth, and I was like, well, I'm not going to get Woodford. I've already tried that. I'm not going to get Knob Creek Small Batch. I've already had that. Oh, Corner Creek. Sounds like Knob Creek. About the same price. A little bit more expensive. I'll give this a try. And I think that's honestly why I picked it up the first time.
Yeah. So you have bought a bottle of it.
Yes,
Before.
I've had 2 bottles. I think my current one is unopened.
But you liked it enough to...
I liked it enough back then.
Yeah.
Now with the 88 proof, it's going to be harder for me. But back then, so this would have been, let's say, 4 years ago for the sake of the story. 88, 90 to 100 proof, that was kind of where I was living. So at the time, I thought it was decent. Now,
Yeah.
since it's non-age stated, they could have dropped age. They could have done a number of things to change it, or have my taste just evolved. Let's find out.
Honestly,
Let's.
the nose is really enjoyable.
It's a little apricot kind of peach.
Okay, it's the peach. That's what I was picking up that I couldn't quite figure out.
Banana-ish, like someone, to borrow Sarah's phrase, someone's next door saying the word banana. But yeah, no, it's interesting.
Oh, I get something very unique, and I'm really trying to put my finger on it.
Yeah,
I get that it's like a smoky apricot. Like someone put a smoky apricot in a cocktail or something.
yeah, they like slapped it across the face with an apricot.
Honestly, though, there is something in it that I'm not terribly fond of, and it smells a little sweaty.
There's a little bit of locker room in there.
Yeah. Little locker room
Not
talk.
like stinky socks or anything, but it does have that kind of lingering.
I think it's just generic funk, maybe. That's kind of
Like a salty funk.
general funk.
general funk. General funk.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It doesn't turn me away from wanting to try it by any means.
It's one of those noses where I don't know what to expect from the taste.
Yeah. No, I have no idea what's going to come out of this, but I guess let's find out, though.
Let's find out. No, it's about like the nose.
Yeah.
I wonder if it is Kentucky Artisan Distillery because this does taste like Jefferson's.
It
Small
does taste
batch.
a little like Jefferson's, yeah. I get that smoky apricot still
Yeah.
a little, but I also get a little raspberry,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird.
There's something kind of bacony about it as well. Like a very light, savory kind of flavor.
There's
to it.
Bacon fat,
an
yeah.
aftertaste in the finish of more like what it smells like after you cook. In like a cast iron skillet.
Yeah, like it's been hanging around for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Honestly, I'm not upset by it. It just does kind of seem like you're left wanting a little bit more.
It's one of those where
know?
you're like, I wonder what this would taste like if they turned it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed. It has some interesting flavors that I wouldn't describe as normal.
If you like a sweeter profile, though, I think this is totally up your alley.
It is sweet,
You know,
for sure.
I saw somebody recently shared an image of a bourbon that was and it's not a finished bourbon. It's not like American Honey or anything, but it's being marketed specifically towards women. As like the woman's, like it's 80
Like
proof. It's,
pens, but for women.
sure, yeah.
You ever see those? No.
What?
They're like
Wait, what?
You
Oh,
never
it's
see-
like pink and
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like is it Gillette makes pens or
Yeah.
whatever, but they would make like pens for women. They're fun colors and they have a soft grip because it's so hard to write as a woman.
I mean, you can barely write as it is because you're a woman. You
What-
better have
how
a
obnoxious.
soft.
Anyway, so bourbon for
yeah.
women. Tell me more about
please
this.
people
because-
understand that was parody and that
Oh,
was
that
not
was
actually
complete
how we-
parody. Yes,
That was
complete
facetious.
parody.
That was
You know
facetious.
us; we're very sarcastic. But no, but I mean, like seriously, how are you going to tell me it's a bourbon for women when
I don't
I
know.
myself like
It comes in a-
130 something proof, 130 proof.
It comes
Elijah
in
Craig
a
or
it comes in a
120
bottle
proof
shaped like a kitchen.
Booker's.
Oh,
Oh, Chad.
Oh,
no.
Lord.
Also,
Also parody.
parody. It's parody
It's-
on the Perry podcast.
I just wonder if it was marketed towards somebody who would like a sweeter profile,
Maybe.
or a lighter profile in a whiskey.
Honestly, this is reminding me of a recent sherry cask finished bourbon that we tried.
disagree.
Not that one.
Oh, okay. Which one are you talking about?
Do you know what it is?
I'm guessing it's not the Master's Keep.
Nope.
Okay, that's what I thought you were talking about. That's why I was like, disagree. She ever get? No, it's not that.
No, it's not that bad.
Okay,
not that
just tell
bad.
me.
Town brand sherry cask finish.
Oh,
It's
okay.
reminiscent.
Reminiscent.
I
Well, it's
didn't-
got that. It's got that peach that you get on the nose, but it takes a slump. Like I don't know. The more I drink it, the less I'm liking it.
Me too. Usually something grows on
Oh,
me.
I think so too.
The more I
Yeah.
sip it, but this is fading.
Well, the way that I noticed that is that, what I typically find is that the further I get into sipping it, the more the holes kind of start getting filled.
Right.
It's like, it's a very specific reaction to figuring out those flavors. And now it's just like there's nothing else that I can find aside from what I did in the first couple of sips.
Right. A little one note.
A little bit. Sarah's going with the
It's a little grassy.
It's a little thin.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
But
a lot of things.
It's a little bit of a lot of things.
I would still say
Like a little
though,
bit of Monica in your life.
Yeah, a little bit of
Erica
Erica
by your side.
by my side. A little bit of
Jessica.
is all I need. A little
That's
bit
not how
of
it goes, but it's okay.
I thought it was Rita. I thought
Rita.
came next. Or Lita.
Yeah. There's more. Definitely.
it's a little bit Mambo number 5
yeah.
in a glass
Does he ever
by
actually
Lou
say
Vega.
Mambo number.
Yeah, he says in the very
It's at the
beginning. He
beginning.
goes Mambo number 5,
And
then
that's
the
it.
song
That's the
starts.
only time.
I'm pretty sure. I don't.
Dumb.
Boom, boom,
Dum, dum, dum,
boom. Copyright strike.
And now I have to take down the entire podcast. Thank you.
Songs that will
well.
not be played at our wedding.
So-
Neither will the Margarina.
The Margarina?
The Margarina.
He was trying to say
Macarena.
The
he was trying to say
macaroni.
Margaritaville and the Macarena at the same time.
The macaroni dance.
Chad,
That macaroni dance
wait.
won't be played at my wedding.
Chad, say Massachusetts.
Damn it, Sarah. No.
Say it.
No.
The people
Massachusetts?
say
No.
Massachusetts.
No.
He won't say it.
Massachusetts.
That's not,
Rude house.
that's not how you say Massachusetts.
I know. I can't say
I can't say it, okay? Okay, well, as people probably know if you've listened to the show before, but if not, we have a review system of nose, palate, finish, and price.
Oh,
And each category is out of...
dang it. Let me get on my phone.
It sounded like the life was being ripped from you for a second.
Oh, that's right. Never pull fleshy piercing.
No.
Bleh.
2019, it's in the books.
All right. Nose, palate, finish, and price. Each category is out of 5, and then we tally everything up for a total out of 20. So, Sarah, I can keep track of your score if you want to.
What's the price?
$30.
I got it in my head.
All right, Cool. So who wants to go first?
Well, I'm still doing mine, so not me.
Okay.
I mean,
Nose.
we could go category by category if you want.
Let's do that.
Nose. I'm going to give it a 1.5.
Oof. Okay.
Sorry. I'm not impressed.
I gave it a 2. I thought the nose was, you had some hope.
Yeah. I didn't have much
There was
hope.
some hope
But
in
there
that
was a
nose.
little hope.
I gave it a 2.5.
Ooh, okay.
I thought it was really interesting. It's definitely different from anything that I've ever smelled before on a nose.
So I'm just being harsh.
No, I don't think so at all. It's just, I just, I thought it was really inviting. That sweet profile. It's not necessarily something that I gravitate towards, but I just thought that it was interesting for a nose. What about the palate though?
Also a 1.5 for me.
Woof.
I actually echo that at a 1.5.
Did not like.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
Because I still found, again, like there to be some really interesting things going on, but the fact that it didn't elevate itself the more that I drank it.
Yeah, and we're actually on the same. You took it down 0.5. I took it down 0.5.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finish, though, I don't think there's really any to speak of, is there?
I mean, I gave it a generous 1.3. Just because I felt bad giving it a 1.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to give it a 1, though.
Okay.
I'm also in the one boat.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll stick with my 1.3, but I could obviously be coaxed into
Yeah.
that 1.
Look, price, I'm gonna give it a 1.5.
Agreed.
Samesies.
Like, there are other things that you can get that are better. But
I mean, shoot, if you
at that
could still
price.
find a McKenna 10-year for around $30, like I would much rather have
Well, you
that.
could almost buy 2 bottles of Wild Turkey 101 if they're
right.
$16.29 at Total Wine.
I mean, I've conceded the fact though that like I'm going to be paying more for McKenna at this point.
Yeah,
Like if I see it for $35, $40,
fine.
it doesn't really bother that.
But the
me that
$10
much.
difference between that and this, I mean, there's no question. I would rather pay
Yeah.
the $10 more.
Oh, no
Yeah.
contest.
But if you only have $30 to spend, I would rather get like a bottle of Wild Turkey and a bottle of Evan Williams 1783.
Well, hell,
versus
I'd
this.
rather get Knob Creek small batch
Hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
for 25.
Elijah Craig small batch.
Knob Creek small batch. That's like 30.
Is it 30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elijah Craig small batch.
At
27?
Yeah, exactly.
All
Larceny,
day.
Buffalo
All
Trace,
day,
Eagle
son.
Rare.
$22 for
If
larceny.
you can find it.
If you can find it.
Eagle
Let's
Rare
just
for
name
30?
things now.
Buffalo Trace for
This is my naming
25.
I already
Podcast.
said that.
Oh, you did? Okay. Again, I don't listen to you.
I know.
Hell, Heaven Hill Green Label 6-year, which you can still get in Kentucky for $11.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give me
So-
3 of those almost.
So we all say 1.5,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which gives me a total score of
Oh, the total thing.
5.5
Oh, the math.
out of 20. That is a
Um.
fail.
Yeah. I'm at a 6.5 out of 20.
I'm at 6.3.
Look, is this the best thing I've ever had? Absolutely not. But I definitely encourage
Is
people
it the
to
worst thing you've ever had?
Absolutely not. That goes to the. I'm not going to say it. But this is definitely something that somebody who likes a sweeter profile
Yeah.
would gravitate towards.
I would say this is not quite as. I don't think I should say that. Never mind.
I think I'm going to leave that in, though.
Okay, fine.
Chad working through his thoughts. Anyway, that's our review of Corner Creek. That's fine. Maybe drink something.
It's a bourbon.
But if you like sweet things, that's for you. So that wraps up the review, but it brings us into
Oh, damn it. Tips and bits.
Tips and Bits, where we provide recommendations for things for you to go check out.
Ooh,
I'll
I'll go last.
Okay, I'll go first if I need to. I have been binging a podcast called Ooh Spooky, where 3 comedians read from a book called Mysteries of the Unexplained, and just rip on it, and it's hilarious because usually the mysteries are not good or don't make any sense. I would definitely go check it out. It's spelled OOOH, and then spooky.
Ooh.
SPOOKY.
Okay.
And I mean, like, I have been listening to it like it's my job
Nice.
recently.
Nice. Someone please pay Perry to listen to this podcast.
Yes, please.
It's his job now.
I mean, I do need one.
Well, I wasn't going there. But.
No, it's all good. But also, I'll recommend this because I'm about to be on this podcast, and you guys have been on it as well. Harry Potter and the Half Drunk Podcast.
There you go. That's
with
right.
Her friend Sam.
Yeah.
And her friend Emily. And it's all Harry Potter based, but they also
Bring in some alcohol, right?
drink some goodness on there as well. We're gonna do bourbon butterbeer on mine.
That's right. She showed me the recipe. It looks really good.
It looks
Yeah,
real
I'm
good.
really
I
excited
want
for
to
it.
try
Oh,
some
man,
of this.
I love her.
We might
She's
just swing
fantastic.
by her house to try a
Can
little
we just,
butterbeer.
let's just swing by and
You
grab
guys
a
wanna
casual
come?
butterbeer.
Just come on.
So like, please,
chat.
please
We'll
welcome
chat.
to the
Let's
show,
see.
Perry. And they're like, and Chad and Sarah.
We're here too. We
We're
love
here
butterbeer.
too. We're here too.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are my tips and bits. Do you guys
Okay.
have you guys worked yours out yet? Or?
I think I've worked
I
some
have
out.
one. You go ahead.
Do you want to go? Okay, I'll go. Continuing with your, well, actually, it's not because it's a YouTube show, not a podcast. But I may have already done this one before, so that's what I'll do too. I think I've already recommended this, but Hot Ones.
Oh, you have recommended that in the past.
Oh yeah, we've talked about it before too.
Then fine. But Hot Ones is First We Feast on YouTube, and they interview people while they're eating increasingly hot, spicy wings.
Which is a great concept.
Such a great concept.
It's
Love it.
funny though that you say that it's not a podcast, but they do have a podcast version of it.
Oh, no
Where
doubt,
it's-
because their shows are like 20, 25 minutes. So I
Yeah,
can
but
see
they extend the interviews,
there
or
you go.
they offer the extended interviews of it.
I did not know that. They do not advertise that on the videos. So, what was my second? Got it.
You want to think about it?
Crap. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, sorry, Chad. But what I've been watching lately and have just finished was Homecoming, the TV show with Julia Roberts on Amazon.
You.
Literally, Chad and I
Watch
make
that.
so many lists of shows, and he's like, "Oh, I want to watch that with you too. Oh, I want to watch that with you too." We never sit down and watch shows together ever.
Yep.
So I was like, I've been saying this since before Christmas, and now I'm gonna watch it by myself. So I did, and I have to say, like, coming from a video background, like as a producer, not a videographer, they use video in the angles and like structure in such a very cool way of
Really?
storytelling. Yes, it's really interesting. I highly recommend it. I think it's really
And what's it
good.
on?
It's on Amazon. Yeah, Amazon Prime if you have it. It's on
Okay.
there. It's quite good. Also, The Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Yes, that was mine last week
Love,
too.
love. The
Second
new
season was
Oh,
amazing.
awesome. And she just won a Gold Globe.
Did she really?
Yeah, she won
So-
Gold
Oh, yeah,
Globe
she
for
did.
Best
So
Comedy.
Now the show has won awards in 2 different seasons.
It has
I think
That's
that's true. Yeah, she
fantastic.
won for Best Comedy Actress,
Yeah,
I think. Or
that's
Best
amazing.
Actress in a Comedy Series. But
I mean,
excellent.
I echo, it was either Swan or Curtis's last week of the Orville. I'm watching
yes.
that, and I think that's good.
I've actually come
that
to
was
enjoy
Curtis.
that very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine, and tell me if I've said this already, recommended this already, but pitch meetings from Screen Rant on
No,
YouTube.
you've
No,
not.
you've never said
not.
that.
But,
Alright.
but I do know what you're talking about, and
Yeah.
those are so funny.
If you
I-
dislike,
Here we go.
if you dislike a movie or a show or something, they have over 100 videos. Go to Screen Rant on YouTube and
Is it like making fun of how this movie got pitched?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
exactly
It's
that
a
what
pitch
it is.
sounds
meeting. It's a
awesome.
pitch meeting.
And then a bunch of dummies sitting around being like, "Yeah, that sounds
No,
like
it's
a good
actually
idea."
one guy. The same guy plays the studio executive and the guy who wrote the script. And they just do it on green screen back and forth. You know, he wears glasses in one and he doesn't wear glasses in the other. And so if ever you don't like a movie and you want to be like backed up on that thought, if they've done a pitch meeting about it, go watch it and you'll be like, see, I knew why. This is the reason why I didn't like this. I think I
So-
sent you the version of The Last
From
Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Yeah.
Which-
And I've watched it, and it made me dislike that movie
See,
a little bit.
Not that gives me any
It's
joy.
so funny though.
but it kind of does.
I get so much enjoyment out of that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it's an amazing, and people love it. You know, they've really latched onto it. So that's an amazing.
I
thing
would
on-
actually like to go watch
thing
that
on
now
the YouTubes.
while Perry does his Butterbeer podcast.
Butterbeer, the Butterbeer podcast.
Maybe we can get you guys over there. I don't know. You know how Sam is.
I do.
Me too.
I don't know that. I said that like I know
Very
her super
welcoming.
well, but I don't know. Yeah. Anyway,
Anywho, that's our tips and bits.
that's tips and bits for this
Tips and
week.
bits.
Chad and Sarah, thank you for being on.
Our
Of course,
pleasure.
in
Thanks
the-
for having us.
In the new Bourbon Room studio.
I love the
with-
Bourbon Room studio.
I
great.
love
One
it
of my
too.
new favorite places.
I spent a lot of time up here yesterday because Lucy wasn't home, and I'll probably do the same later tonight. Anyway,
You need a little TV right here.
yeah, so I can play video games.
Yeah, and this will just be your man cave.
Where can people find you all on social media?
It's Bourbon Night. It's Bourbon Night on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. YouTube.com/Bourbon Night. But we also have.
We also have whiskeyambitions.com, which is the home of our merchandise and apparel. New things coming all the time. And you can find our Amazon influencer page. It's amazon.com/shop/It's Bourbon Night. If you want to find the little goodies that we use on our show, we keep all that stuff on a nice little list for you.
Boom.
There you go. Well, if you want to follow us on social media, it's at My Bourbon Pod. Again, let me know what are some overlooked bourbons that you have. I'd be happy to check those out, chat with you about that. Let's see what else. If you have questions or comments, send me an email. This is mybourbonshop@gmail.com. I'm always checking that, so I'd be happy to chat with you there as well. YouTube.com/This is My Bourbon Podcast. Every Thursday night, I'm doing live streams where I do lots of Perry pours. And
Yeah.
people encourage me to do lots of Perry pours.
And we occasionally pop in and say hi.
Yes, yes, you all are there from time to time as well. Bourbonshop.threadless.com is where you can find all of my apparel and merchandise and accessories as well. There's a free shipping promotion going on right now. I can't remember the code, but I'll put it in the description below. It's
Perry
all
Pours.
It's all yeah.
Perrypours.com.
It's all
We'll get you drunk.
Oh man, it's all New Year based. I think I can't remember for sure. Let's see, what else do I do here? 5-star rate and review on iTunes, please. That really helps other people find the show, as well as you letting people know that the show exists and trying to get them to listen in as well. I think that about does it. Oh, live show too in April. Get
Live
your
show?
tickets.
And we both got the Patreons.
Oh, the Patreon too. Patreon.com/This is My Bourbon Podcast.
Patreon.com/It's Bourbon Night.
As little as $1 a month for both of us. You can come and hang out. And,
Join in on the conversation.
There's been really good communities on both of our parts, and you're getting exclusive content from us as well. A bonus podcast every single month. Got a new one coming up soon that I'm not going to talk too much about in public because it is very specifically
It's for patrons only.
for it's just for patrons. Yeah, that about does it. Chad and Sarah, thank you guys so much for being on.
Our pleasure.
Thank you, Perry.
Of course.
As always, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. I'll see you next week, but until then, I'm Perry, and this is My Bourbon Podcast.